What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to show everybody how to do a deep fried Frank's Red Hot Turkey. My family's been on me about making videos about my food because they think it tastes good. So we're going to do it. It's Christmas Eve 2022, and I'm making a deep fried Frank's Red Hot Turkey and a candied ham. I'm going to do another video on the candied ham, but that won't be part of this one. So I'm going to lay out the brine first, and then, the brine's going to take about 12 to 14 hours. So we'll lay that out first, and then tomorrow we'll pick up on this video and show the turkey frying procedure. So here we go. Here's the turkey brine. All right, what we're going to need is a pot that'll handle about a gallon of water, or liquid, excuse me. You're gonna need a gallon of vegetable broth. You can buy any brand you want, don't matter. And just so you know, for these square cartons equals a gallon. So you need 4 of those, any brand you want. You're gonna need 1 cup of kosher salt. Got that measured out here. Make sure you measure that out with a dry measuring cup, not a wet measuring cup. This is a wet. I just put it in there so you can see the ingredients. You're going to need half a cup of the brown sugar, and you can use light, dark, whatever you like. And then you're going to want 3 teaspoons of this Tony Chachere's bold Creole seasoning. This stuff, this is white, green, you can't miss it, man. That stuff is the bee's knees. And then you're going to need 3 teaspoons of ground black pepper. And also 2 oranges. And they don't have to be any specific kind of oranges, just whatever kind of orange you want. You're going to need 2 oranges. That's my secret ingredient for Creole spicy food. Boiling crawfish, stuff like that. I always put some oranges in the mix. It just makes this wonderful sweet addition to some stuff. Also, we're going to be frying a 15-pound turkey, any kind of turkey you want. I like to fry turkeys in the 15-10 range. Any bigger than that, and you burn through the skin pretty hard because you're cooking at such a high temperature for so long. We'll get into how long you cook and things you're going to do to the bird itself. You're also going to need a 5-gallon bucket with a sealable lid, and it's important that it has that rubber seal on it because you want this to be airtight. It's going to be in this bucket for 14 hours. So the first thing we're going to do before we do any of the getting the turkey ready to put in the bucket thing is we're going to cook this brine. So essentially a turkey brine to me is 2 ingredients. It's going to be the vegetable broth and the 1 cup of kosher salt. These other things are things that I add in for this specific turkey. If you're baking a turkey, you can put other kind of things in. 4 things. You can put other kind of things in there for that. But essentially, you could brine a turkey with just these 2 items, and it'd be great. The idea behind a brine is that it sits in there, and as the salt levels start to balance out between the turkey and the liquid, it starts exchanging fluids back and forth from the turkey. So the turkey will expel some liquid and draw in the salt from around it. And when it does, the salt particles latch on all these other flavors and they pull it inside the turkey. So we'll get to making this brine. Alright, we're going to put all the vegetable broth in the pot. We're going to put the stove on around 5, and the idea is combine all your ingredients, bring it to a boil, and kill it. So that's it. Just going to put all this stuff in, bring it to a boil, and then we'll take it off the heat, and we will add it to the turkey. So, the vegetable broth, and it can be stock too. All the dries. Once we combine that, we're going to stir this kind of regular. We don't want anything to get settled down to the bottom and burn to the bottom. We want all these seasons and salt, we want it all to liquefy so that it's able to pass through the turkey and into the meat. So we will bring this to a boil and we'll start back up. Okay, so in the pot we have all of our dry ingredients. We have the vegetable broth, and now we want to add the oranges. So we're just gonna take our oranges, split in half, just get both of them cut. Just take them, squeeze them out the best you can. You don't have to get carried away. I mean, it's gonna boil, you know. So squeeze those out. Drop the whole thing, peel and all. Now, something I used to do is I would zest the fruit, because sometimes I use lemons, but I would zest it a little bit into the broth before I would squeeze it out, and it works. It works really well. So if you are wanting a whole lot more of the fruit flavor, a lot of that's locked into the rind. So if you'll zest up lemon, lime, oranges, there's a lot of citric acid in those peels. So if you'll zest that into there and then squeeze it, that will add a little bit more depth of flavor to, you know, your brine. So we will bring this to a boil, and we will remove it from the heat, and we'll let it cool down a little bit. You can put this in the refrigerator overnight and then, you know, add it to your turkey the next day. But I'm in a little bit of a crunch, and my turkey's kind of frozen. Oh, you can't see the top of my head. I'm in a little bit of a crunch. My turkey's kind of frozen, so I'm just going to add it to the frozen turkey, because I know that the warm liquid will help thaw it out. I mean, it's not a great thing to do, but I'm deep frying it. So deep frying turkey is very, very forgiving. It's not like baking a turkey. You know, once it hits that hot grease, it just seals up. So all that moisture that's in the meat is just locked in. You know, you can't really lose moisture by deep frying a turkey. So it's real forgiving. It's something really easy to do. I mean, yeah, it can be a little dangerous, but it's still really, really simple. So we'll just let this come to a boil, and then I will bring you back when it's time to put it in the bucket. Okay, we got the brine over there going. We're gonna open up this turkey, put it in the bucket, get it ready for the brine. Like I said, I'm still froze, but I really don't think it's gonna hurt anything. In an ideal world, this turkey would be totally thawed out. You know, when it's thawed, it's gonna soak up that brine a lot faster than when it's froze. So I'm gonna be losing a little bit of my my brine time due to the frozen nature of my turkey. So, you know, if it was thawed, I'd be able to pull the giblets and stuff out and you know, remove those before I put them in the bucket. But I'm gonna brine it with all that stuff in there. 15-pound butterball, froze solid as a rock, straight into a bucket. Turkey in the bucket. Yo, we are boiling. I can't even not tell you how good this smells, man. It's ridiculous. Okay, so we are boiling. We're gonna kill the heat. I'm gonna pull this off the heat. Let this calm down. Get my damn plastic plate away from this hot pot. Oh man, that I want to like just eat it. It's just like soup smelling good, you know. Oh, this is gonna be great. You know, this right here is gonna go into that meat, and we're gonna inject the turkey with Frank's Red Hot. You know, I've got a great injector. I'll show it to you later. But so essentially, we're gonna rub it down. It's just gonna be absolutely covered and full of Frank's Red Hot. You know, I'm going to show you that process, but I inject a lot into the wings individually, the legs individually, because I'm going to tell you, the wings are my favorite part. I'll fight over them wings. They're ridiculous. So we're gonna kind of separate the skin, put some on the breast. But when I do that, I like to add some of the Tony Chachere's to it before I rub it down and get underneath the skin and get next to the breast. But when I inject, I don't put any Tony Chachere's into the liquid that I inject. I push straight out of the bottle. And I mean, you can try, but it clogs up my injector, so I don't. You can, if you want, you could add maybe some lemon to the Frank's Red Hot. You can do whatever you want, but if you stick to this process, to exactly what I'm doing, I guarantee you will enjoy it. And don't get me wrong, it's not ridiculously hot either. This is just Frank's Red Hot Buffalo, just wing sauce. That's it. I mean, it's not like 5 alarm. I wouldn't even really call it 1 alarm. It's really good. I think even little kids would be all right eating on it. Now the heat won't come from this. The heat will come from that Tony Chachere's. Your heat level is going to be on how much Tony Chachere's do you add. So we're going to go through a whole process of levels with the Tony Chachere's. We've got it in the brine. It's going to be a little bit into the rub down. That's what I'm going to call that procedure. And then at the finish too. At the very, very finish, there's going to be a little bit more Chachere's in the mix. So this is we're going to go on to the turkey. Okay, got a brine, got a bird. We're going in. Be careful. Ideally, this would be a thawed turkey and cooled liquid, but that ain't how we're doing it today. Add this to the bird, bucket. Ooh, that smells so good. Get some inside that bird. Oh yeah. Okay. Now, this is not enough liquid to cover the entire bird, and that's okay. We can, and I do this all the time. This is not abnormal to the procedure. We will add some water. We need the bird covered. This is important. Okay, this is like the most important thing with brining a bird. Cover the bird. It's got to be covered with liquid. I want to add cold liquid because I really need the sucker to be thawed. And I did cause a bit of a mess while I was pouring. Didn't even notice it. Sorry, baby. Alright, so I'm getting some hot water in my pot here. Covering the bird. And it's going to be crazy good. That smell. You need to come out with smell vision. Or maybe they don't. They probably don't. But I wish you guys could smell it. Make this recipe so you could smell this smell, because it is ridiculously good. Alright, let's see if that's enough. We need a little bit more. We got about that much turkey coming out. Turkey knuckle. Ankle. I think it's an ankle. Wow. That's going to be good. That's going to be good. Sometimes I impress myself. Perfect. Covered turkey. Alright, let's bring you in so you can see what's going on here. So, there is our liquid covering our turkey. I don't know about you, but that looks really good to me. Alright, so now put this lid on and make sure that it is sealed. exchange. That'd be not good, unsanitary. So now I'm gonna put this in just a cool place. I don't want this getting any warmer than it already is, because it's gonna sit here, and we don't want bacteria to grow or anything like that. So it is 2:20 something, which is perfect. I'm actually going to get a 24-hour brine on here, which is great. Gives me plenty of time to thaw. I'm going to cook tomorrow around 2:30 at the same time. So I'm just going to put this in a nice cool place and let it go. Fortunately, for me, not for everybody else, but we're having a really cold spell in Texas. So I got a nice cool place I can put this outside, where it'll basically be in a refrigerator, because it is that cold in Texas this year on Christmas Eve. So I'll bring you back tomorrow, and I will show you what we're gonna do to get this sucker ready for the oil. I'll show you what kind of oil. I'll show you, you know, what I use to do my injection. Man, I'm starting to get excited. Alright guys, we're on day 2. Merry Christmas 2022. Things we're going to need to finish prepping our turkey. It's been in the brine for 24 hours. We're going to need a good injector. I got that from Academy. I've had it for a few years, works great. We're going to need a whisk. We're going to need a bowl. We're going to need our Tony Chachere's again. And now all of our Red Hot. So I'm going to pull the turkey out of the brine, get it rinsed off, or not really rinsed off, but drained off, and get it into the pan and bring it back. Okay, I swapped out the bowl for a little bit bigger because we need the space. So the first thing we're going to do is take some of our Chachere's, put in the bowl. Heck, I guess that looks like maybe 2 tablespoons. I don't know. This part of it is kind of to what you feel, what's your flavor. So we're going to take some Red Hot. We're going to put it in here, probably about, I don't know, about a third of the bottle. And we're going to take our whisk and this side up. Get that season all throughout. Ooh, that gets the nose. Okay, take this, set it aside, bring out the turkey, so you can see that brine has really gotten in there, and we're totally we're thawed out. I guess that's the word for it. So now we're going to do our injection. So I have that bottle. Open it up, and we're going to fill our injector. So we're going to start with the wing, sucker on the side. So you have the forearm and the bicep. That's what I call it. So what I like to do is I like to come in from this angle, from the top. And I'll get right in next to that knuckle. I'll get right all the way down into that forearm. You can see how that all just filled up. Alright, let's use the bigger bottle. This is going to get seriously messy, so the bigger bottle out so we can really get some into our injector. So now we're going to get in that bicep. So the best way to do that, find that joint there, just slide it in. And if you put your thumb on your injection site, pull back a little bit, you can really, you'll see it and you'll feel it filling up. Just really be slow with this. And when you're pulling back out, take your time, because you see it wants to expel from the pressure. So if you take your time, don't put any real strain on it, you've got a wing full up. So now flip it over, do the same thing. Fill this off camera, I guess. Make it go a little faster. So again, from the top down, right into that forearm. Fill her up. Once you feel the pressure starting to build, you don't have to empty the injector out in there if you can't. No big deal. You see, you just kind of mash that injection spot and it won't leak out. Come back over into this knuckle. Work your way down into that bicep. Empty out the injector. Pull it back. There we go. And if you lose a little, it's not a big deal. We're gonna coat this bird with this. So now the wings are done, and we're gonna move on to the legs. So again, you want to start from the ankle right in. You want to get into the middle of the meat. Probe it around a little bit, make some room. Once you're in a good spot, dump her. Now generally I'll put a whole needle worth into the legs. Just hold some pressure on there, give it a couple seconds, and it won't back out. This leg, get it in, probe around, make some room, and dump her on in there. There you go. See, you can see it starting to fill out here. I saw it bulging here, so I just repositioned to get it more up into the thigh. And take your time with this so it don't back out on you. See that little squirt? It does get messy. Okay. Alright, so now that we have that, turn it over. Now, some people forget about the back of a turkey. I don't, because there's a lot of really good dark meat back here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to inject, but I'm going to inject from the neck down. Just one, and then the back's done. So I got a big full injector. Follow that back in. A little pressure. Let it fly. Side. Pressure. Let it sit. You can rub it a little bit, spread it out, take some of the pressure off, and now we are ready for the breast. So you're going to pull that back just a little bit so you can get into the breast that way and that way. You have your center bone here, and the idea is to get right down in the center of the meat and then let it go, because it will move around as you're cooking. In, probe around, make a nice little pocket for it. Make sure you're in the middle of the meat. There we go. And you'll watch that breast will actually, grow by a quarter at least. The other side. Probe around. This part is pretty important. You need to make a room for that to go. If you don't probe around, it's all going to back out on you. It may not back out on you in the pan, but it'll back out on you when you hit that hot grease. And then you'll just have hot sauce all in your hot grease. Okay, we're done with the injection part. Now, for that mixture, what we're going to do is you're going to take this flap of skin here, and you're going to real gently start working your hand in between the meat and the skin. And you're just going to open up a space. Now be easy, you don't want to tear the skin, but you want to create a void between the skin and the breast. One side. See, it's starting to get a little tear here. If you'll pinch that, and then start working your way in. You won't tear the skin anymore. The skin's tougher than you might think. So I'm saying be gentle, but it's really not all that gentle. Okay, now we have some space to put stuff. So now we're gonna get this. Okay, you're gonna take a little bit of a handful. You're gonna kind of pull it and keep your hand cupped up, and then drop it in there and rub it on. You want to get all that voided area rubbed in with that season. So we're going to do the other side. There we go. And you'll feel that sashery grit in your hand. That's when you know you're doing the right thing. Okay, now it's time to drown this sucker. So I'll just take whatever's remaining and drop it on. Take this bottle here. You're gonna drown it. I mean, you're gonna dump it. You want this bird just swimming in hot sauce. I'm glad my wife's not in here to see the mess I'm making. Although if she watches the video, she'll see the mess. Okay. We got that. Back up to the top. We still have the remaining of this bottle. We're going to pour a bunch on the inside. So you got to remember, a lot of this is going to come off whenever you go into the grease. So we're doing this a little early, and we'll give this time to tack up some. Okay? We just want hot sauce all over it. Okay, that's pretty much perfect. We got one last thing to do besides clean up this enormous mess. Now we are going to get our sasheries, just a little. So we want this to be light. We're just going to give it a little dust. Remember, I mean, most of this is going to come off in the oil. So it's important to just really get it on there because, you know, what doesn't wash, it's going to taste delicious. So that's it. It's ready for a fryer. We're going to put some foil over it and let it just sit until we're ready to fry. And that'll give all this hot sauce time to just kind of tack up a little bit and hopefully stay on the bird once we drop it in the oil. So I will bring you back for that, and then I'll clean up this enormous mess. All right, man, we're ready to fry the turkey. We got the oil up to 350. And we cut the heat. It's important because when you're putting your turkey in, you do not want that flame running, because you get boil over, it hits the flame, you just blow your whole house up. So turn the heat off when you're going to do this. So we got the heat turned off. We're gonna mount our turkey onto the frying, whatever you call this thing here, frying pole. So we're gonna go in from the neck. You want the breast down, the feet up. And I got this ready to go. I didn't bring any paper towels, which is unfortunate, but we'll be all right. Thread that through the neck hole. Ooh, there we go. And then I got this flap still on here, okay? So I'm gonna tuck them legs inside that flap, and it's gonna help keep everything nice and together while it's in the grease, okay? So now that we're like that, we're gonna take our hook. All right, Dad, can you remove that cover for me? We're gonna go into the grease. Now you gotta take your time because you got a lot of moisture and that oil's gonna wanna bubble up. So you wanna come in nice and tight here, Josh, and let people see. Here we go. We're just gonna take our time and go in nice and slow. That's that moisture coming out.
gonna happen. So you're just gonna pause, you're gonna take your time. You drop this in here, this will boil over and you'll burn yourself all up. You just wanna take your time and just inch it on down. Now, it's gonna spill inside that chest cavity. But you don't wanna go too fast because it could pop right out of the tail end of that turkey. Okay, now we're home, we're dead in there. So we're gonna leave the lid off and we're gonna fry. It's a 15-pound turkey. It's 3 minutes per pound. So at about 45 minutes or so, you wanna start checking the breast meat. So now we're gonna get the thermometer back in and we're gonna relight it up and we're gonna run it for 45 minutes. Okay, man. All right, man, pro tip. You're gonna drop this thing in here and your oil temperature is gonna freaking plummet. Don't sweat it, you're still at the 45-minute mark, but you do want to crank up the heat and get that back up as close to 350 as quick as possible. Because the longer it's in that oil, the more that skin's going to get fried, and then it'll get real fragile, it could bust, you can get holes, so you want to get that temp back up as quickly as possible. But don't think you have to be at 350 for the whole 45 minutes, it don't work that way. Just put her in the grease, get it back up to 350 as quick as you can, but hold that 45-minute mark. Around 45 minutes, we're gonna take a probe and we're gonna start checking the breast meat. We're looking for 165. 165, get it out of the heat, man, she's done. So I'm not gonna show that part of it, but I just wanna let you know that you're not gonna maintain at 350 from the time you drop that giant cold turkey in the grease. It's gonna plummet. You're gonna lose 100 degrees probably. But get it in there, get the fire back up, get to 350 as quick as you can, but hold that 45-minute mark. But that's for a 15-pound turkey. Now you got 12-pound, 10-pound, 3 minutes per pound. Hold that time from the moment you drop in to the moment you start probing. Let the probe tell you how much longer to be in there or when to take it out, okay? Don't just stay at that time mark. Use your probe. All right, we're good.
All right, everybody, finished product. She got an internal at 165. All these little, this is all deliciousness. It's just insanely good. It's like turkey cracklings. I got a mouthful of it right now. It's delicious. There you go. Deep fried red hot turkey. I'm gonna tell you what, that thing right there is delicioso. All right, man, we're gonna go eat. Peace.